it is just complete mayhem, absolute mayhem. Hi guys, so I know it's been a minute since my last video, probably 6 months, but I'm back in Australia from Japan and I'm on holiday, I guess. So I've just been catching up with everyone at home, hanging out with my horses when I can. I've been doing a little bit of work with old clients, and yeah, so I thought I would make a couple of videos. So today, you would have seen in the title, I am going to talk about the kind of main differences that I saw in Japan with their competitions compared to ours here in Australia, because there was a couple of things that I thought were just a little bit odd, like I guess just compared to what I'm used to here. Yeah, so I guess I'll just get into it. So the first kind of big thing that I remember just being like, what on earth is going on, was that there is no like jump offs in the show jumping. It's all speed rounds, all of them. And I remember asking one of the ladies that was a client where I was working, and she said no, they don't do jump offs like ever unless they are at like a big competition like the championships and stuff, and then they will have jump offs in their big classes. But other than that, it's just speed rounds, and it is crazy. It's like every single round is a jump off, really. The turns that they do is just, they're just incredible. Yeah, it's insane. And what the horses can jump from, like 1.10 m classes, they can turn on a dime pretty much and jump from a standstill. It's hectic. So hopefully I can bring some of that home and win some jump offs if I can find something to jump with. Because yeah, it was just, there was no just regular like getting them into a nice big canter. It was all fast, everything. Even the like 1.60 m classes that I watched, it was the same. Like there was no jump offs. It was just how fast can you go. So yeah, that was a pretty big kind of shock to me, that there was jump offs just weren't a thing. So the courses felt really short when you did them, because it was just like in Australia we usually do a round, and if you go clear and then you do your jump off. So it like the course always feels quite long if you go clear. So when you're just doing like, I don't know, 10 jumps, it's like, oh, okay, it's done. Yeah, so that was a pretty, yeah, it was just a bit strange. But the rest of my list that I've got here is also strange. So, well, strange to me anyway. So the next one is, every single class in the show jumping was done to draw order. Like even the 40 centimeter, 30 centimeter, like everything was draw order. It was very organized, which I was really impressed about. And I kind of wish Australia was a little bit more like that. But yeah, you were down there ready for your class in your right order. And if you're Australian and you knew what show jumping shows are usually like here, it is just complete mayhem, absolute mayhem. You know, you've got our whiteboard and the poor ring steward is trying to get people in, and sometimes there'll be like lulls in the class, and even though you've got 100 people in the class, there's no one there. They're threatening to shut the course because no one's there, no one's ready, because everyone thinks they have 1,000 hours. Yeah, that just didn't happen. You were never waiting. So classes, you had a class of, 60 people, and it would be done so quickly. Plus the fact that they weren't doing jump offs, obviously shaved off minutes, but you were never waiting for anyone the next horse was always ready to go. It was very systematic, and I really appreciated that, especially being a groom, because I groomed a lot at the shows, only rode it too. Being a groom, you could work out pretty well when your horse was going to need to be tacked up. So yeah, that was very, very helpful. There was no guessing games. It was, you knew what time your rider needed to be on, and yeah, it took like a lot of the stress out, because at Australian show jumping shows, you're always like, oh, should I get the horse ready now? Shouldn't I? Like, you don't know. It's really a guessing game. So yeah, that was really nice. Yes, so in the dressage competitions, there was so in Australia we have our prep classes, so that is just walk trot, and it is really good for beginners and also for young horses. So it just gets them used to going out. There's not that pressure of having to canter on a 20-meter circle. Like, it just takes a lot of the stress away, and that wasn't a thing. The lowest class that they did was kind of like a mix between our prelim and novice. Was the lowest class that you could do. So when I took Ray out, we did an A2. So that still had walk to canter, length and trot, and a length and canter. I never saw an A1, so I don't know how much easier that was, but I know that A2 was a big ask for a horse that had never been out before. It was in the grand scheme of things, it's not that tricky, but when you're putting into account that it was the first time she'd ever been in an indoor, it was her first outing ever, first time in the arena, like a marked off dressage arena. She hadn't done that before. Yeah, so then even if you look at it from a new rider point of view, if you've never done a dressage test before, it's just tricky. So that was, yeah, I remember the first time I was watching them and I was like, what is going on? Because it looked too hard for the level of riders that were the rider level that was doing it. Anyway, that's what they do there, and I definitely appreciate the Australian prep classes now, because it's just such a nice stepping stone for them. Just really nice and chilled, and you can just get them used to being in the arena before you put any pressure on them. Yeah. The next thing that I have down here, oh yes, so in unofficial classes, I don't know if it was the same for jumping, but definitely dressage, you're allowed to use draw-ins or other apparatuses to help you out. In official classes with Jeff, the Japanese Equestrian Federation, you couldn't. But yeah, unofficial stuff, go for your life. Do what you want, really. Yeah, that just, I don't like draw-ins, and I think I'm gonna do a video on why I don't like draw-ins. But yeah, it seemed like I didn't know how you could judge a class and have people that were in draw-ins and not in draw-ins. It didn't seem yeah, I don't know how you could judge that, but they did. It was a thing that happened. I don't know if it was just for A level. I don't think I ever saw anyone in L using draw reins, or maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, but definitely for A level, so your kind of introductory bottom level, you could use draw reins and anything else you felt like putting on. Yeah, which didn't seem right, but it was really geared towards beginner amateur riders. It didn't seem to be so much for young horses. It was really for like amateur riders that ride like once a week or something and just wanted to get out to a show. Yeah, that was very different. And just, you would never see that. You would see drawings at a hack show here in Australia, but I don't know if I've ever seen them at a dressage competition, like warming up. I don't even know if it's legal. I don't know if you can do it. But these people were competing in them. So the next one that I have here is your arena size for the A level. So your like first beginning level dressage was actually on a 20 by 40 arena instead of 20 by 60. So when I competed Ray, I was on the 20 by 40, which felt very claustrophobic. I'd never seen anything like it. Apparently they do it in Slovakia as well for the like beginner levels. So I guess they do it in other places too, I'm not sure. But it, like, as we know in Australia, if you're Australian, the arena is just the same. You don't change the length of it except for in working equitation. They change. It may even be a 20 by 40 for working ec. Yeah, it just, I think it may be a little bit of a safety thing. I'm not sure, because I know they said that they use the draw reins as a safety thing. So I don't know if they were trying to keep everything a little bit more contained for the beginner riders. I don't know, not sure. Don't know the logic on a lot of these points. All I know is it's just what I observed while I was there. Yeah, so let's talk about our last one. Coaches warmed up, like not all of the time, but a lot of the time coaches were warming up horses for their clients. I know in dressage in Australia that's not allowed. I don't know the reason why it's not allowed, but it's not allowed. I'm not sure about show jumping. Don't know, never seen a coach get on and actually like jump the horse in the warm up for a client. So I don't know if that's also illegal here, but it was like very normal, real normal. The professionals wanted to get those horses completely ready so that the client could just get on and steer, really. Because it's not, like, riding isn't such a huge thing in Japan, and it's quite like bougie. It's not done by everyone. You have to be like relatively wealthy to be riding, and especially to own a horse, because there's just not a lot of room. Like where I was, all of the horses were stable 24/7. There was no paddocks, because you're just not dealing, like in Australia we have so much room, so it's very easy for like the average Joe to own a horse. It's not something just out of the blue. So a lot of the clients, especially the ones that we had, were traveling from Tokyo, and so that took them a good 2 hours. If they were traveling by car, it could be a little bit less, but on the train it was 2 hours, and the bus, you could be sitting on the bus for 3 hours. So, you know, these people they love horses, they love riding, but unless they're like 100% dedicated, they're only coming out once a week, maybe twice a week. Yeah, and they're not trying to get to the Olympics, they just want to have a bit of fun. So I think it's just easier for everyone and safer for everyone if coaches do hop on and get the horse like totally ready. They'll even ride the horse in classes leading up to when either the owner or the client is going to ride. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it makes sense, and it's a good way to keep your clients happy. But yeah, it's just not done in Australia, I don't think. I mean, not that I know. I mean, let me know in the comments it's allowed. I don't think it is. I don't know everything. I'm just going on with what I've seen. Well, I guess I'll just finish the video there. Make sure you check out my older videos if you want to see like more training stuff. I think this is the first like sit down video talking about things that I've done. I don't know, have a look. And make sure to subscribe if you're interested in more. All right, well, I'll see you for the next video. All right, bye.